Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It is Friday, September 13th, 2024, and it is the rollover season time now. We have been having a good week, decent month so far, aside from 2 days last week. So today we're kind of just looking to see. I know Fridays have been trendy over the past year or so. So let's just kind of go back quick and look. 30 minutes. We talked about this last Friday where we were, what day is that? Last Friday was the 6th. That doesn't make sense. That's July. Hey-yo. So far back. There we go. So last Friday, got some pump up non-farm and then melt off. Obviously, that was aberrational as far as a day. The 6th and then the 30th. 30th as well. Here, we did choose to go sell side until 10:30 and then buy out. We talked about this last Friday, how it likes to kind of whip around. Let's see what happens on this sweep of this low here. Could be down into like that 400, even down into 380. So we are getting heavy quick here. I don't know if I'm going to get an entry or not. So created a new low right here, right now. I want to see if it's going to sweep it. This makes a new pre-market low. I think we do have room down to 400 and even down into those 80s potentially before we actually get a pop above this overnight high and start to rotate the other way. But we're just going to kind of play it by ear here now that it is just about open. Dancing around with this level. Could be a really quick snap buy right off the jump, but that's a really heavy move there. I like this really fast. Really fast. Order filled. Quickly. Get up there. Legit on the open. Taking that buy. Playing with that level there. I really want to see if it'll bid up from here right off the jump. Being aggressive here today on a Friday. It's dancing a lot. There we go. I'm going to get to even on that. Now let's see if it goes up a little bit more. I'm going to switch to one contract and I'll sell out of them as I go if I can get up higher. I kind of saw that manipulation right there off the open. I wanted to get, I'm going to secure myself just that little tiny bit there. If we could get up over that, and we're out for $10. Could have let it breathe a little more, but I want to let it dance around some. I think we do catch a trend to the upside, but let's see if this will flush this low one more time, trap some shorts, and then get us involved. I wanted to be in it if it was just going to snap up. There's your opening range, 1 minute opening range there. S&P's opening range is slightly tighter. I could have bitched out on that, to be honest, but it's all good. I wanted to see it go through that candle there. Now let's just let it dance because NVIDIA snapped up real hard. So did Microsoft, and then it's pulling back now from there. So I'm not going to take it yet. I'm going to wait, let it go down, let it dance around with the 80s, and then try and rotate its way back up to the high side. Very good idea there, but still just kind of be patient with it. NVIDIA looks like it wants to catch a little bit of a bounce from 118. Microsoft had this super tight pre-market range. If it can get over 427, then we should get catch a bid and start to run on it. S&P's over that range. I want to see a manipulation down here. Like I said, 400, if it holds, could give this a nice little pop. I'm gonna buy this based off of S&P's strength. I'll risk to low this. Nvidia snapped down a little bit, looking like it wants to snap up some. I'm watching this S&P for relative strength. That's why I'm trying to take this here. A little bit away from my level, but it's all right. Staying green. Microsoft ran into 427 and rejected a little bit. I want to see it squeeze through that level. I'll take it break even and see where it goes. See, with full minis, these are good, nice, clean, big money scalp. Well, big money, decent base hit scalps. With these micros, I gotta let them go a little bit more, let them run a little. If I get stopped out at even, it's okay for me personally. Just letting it do its dance. Just based on Microsoft rejecting 427 so hard, I kind of want to get just past even here and just let it cover my fees. But if we can get through VWAP, then we'll take that one off there, that single contract at VWAP. S&P rejecting. Nvidia catching a nice bid. Microsoft selling. I think we could get this first contract off here and then see what happens with the rest of this position. It's still not giving it to us though at the moment. I have a sell limit order there at 446, just over VWAP. Yesterday we didn't learn our lesson, I guess, with that tick at VWAP, but I think we can flip right through it, get filled. Nope, one tick away from getting filled on that. That's funny. There we go. What? No world was that? Sold the whole position. Pretty sure I tried to sell one, but that's all right. I'll take it. $53. We're up on the day. Nice little short, quick little grab. Could be up a little bit more. We stopped ourselves out at even on that, or not even, just past even there on that first little idea off of the overnight low. Unfortunately, I think this does continue on. I mean, this is my idea. I think Fridays tends to trend. I'll take that money and run. If we can sweep this low again, I will try that overnight low long. Nvidia's selling. Microsoft still holding below 427. So we started the day with a nice little base hit. That's all we could ask for, right? With full minis, this is a nice clean move from the overnight low to VWAP. That's a 30 plus point move. You know, you take 30 points any day of the week, right? I think it keeps going. 30 points times 4 points times $5 a tick is $600. There you go. It's $20 a point. Nvidia's holding that 118, 69, 119, trying to push above. If it can get over 119.39, 119.40, then we should push into yesterday's levels. Microsoft also looking to push towards 427. If Microsoft could breach 427, then this goes all the way upside. I do feel like this entry here was a fantastic entry. I should have held that first position a little bit longer, but that's just on me for, we never really had any heat on it. I trailed it slightly quick. I'm still used to the mini trail, right? It is Friday, so I'm not going to be super overly aggressive, but I'll take my $50 every, here and there. $50 here, $50 there, lead up to my $200 day and carry on. I want to see if I can get a flush of either one of these levels. I am going to check financial juice. Traders pricing 40% chance of a half-point Fed rate cut next week. We didn't get... we have that consumer sentiment number at 9, so wait for that 9 o'clock number. If you haven't already entered this, I do think that there is a chance that 9 o'clock number does initiate some sort of like the algo whip around. Maybe the market participants that weren't going to participate are going to jump in. And then we're going to go ahead and see what we see here on the CME group. We lost 6,300 in open interest on the September contract. The December contract gained 7,000. So you see that switch starting to come in. Obviously, the volume is down. It was up over 600,000 yesterday. It's at 581. So yesterday being 2 days ago because it's reporting a day later. So be mindful of that. That rollover is going to affect your trading here. Microsoft still rejecting 427. NVIDIA just breached 119.40 and it's up into 119.67 already, which is pre-market highs. So it could reject pre-market highs here, or it could continue to get bid up to 120. 120 yesterday was that really important level where we sold off from and gave me that snap trade. This could be that there, but I want to see it further up. VWAP isn't that far away, right? You saw our trade from here to VWAP, and it was pretty clean, except it just wasn't that far, right? So I wanted to only take one contract off here and then let the other two ride. I would have taken another one off there. I did not. I set the whole limit order there, and it got filled for the whole thing, which is cool. That was how many points? 425 to 447, so 20 plus points. Can't be mad at a 20 point. I'll take 20 points here, 20 points there all day long. So it is Friday. It is rollover season. It is the quiet period for the Fed. We do have that Michigan consumer sentiment at 9. Microsoft just burned through 427, and NVIDIA is going to breach 120 here in about a second. So watch out for these levels to give you some reaction. I don't know if Microsoft's just going to go straight up all the way to 428.80, but that seems to be the next area of interest. NVIDIA, like I said, 120. It rejected 120 once. Did I only have one on. That's why. I was wondering. I should have had 3 on there, and it would have been a really good trade. 480, 120. Damn. I was wondering why it seemed small in the size. Cost myself a little bit there by scaling down, but hey, I'll take it. Little base hits, I'll take $50 here, $50 there, $200 here. It all adds up. Got to break through these overnight highs, see what happens with that. Microsoft's very strong right now. Not showing any weakness, really. Broke through right now it's at the just after hours, like 3 o'clock, 3:05. That high is right there. We sold from that point at 427.80. S&P, I keep calling NVIDIA S&Ps. NVIDIA loves to run into that 120 and get sold. So I want to see if this will break. But I want that manipulation we saw yesterday. Same type of deal. I want that strong push over the overnight high and then the selling come in. But we didn't get over that overnight high yet. So didn't give me the opportunity there for that long. I think this is that first move that gets people short. Then you're going to get that trappy move to the long side, and then you'll get the actual selling if we could get that to happen. But NVIDIA already broke down from 120, sold right in front of 120. So we will be waiting to see what happens with that. Maybe we get a second touch of 120, and then we'll see if we get a breakdown. I think 610 is a good area for that upside target today. So 610 into 7 and change, 610.50. That level right there is a good upside target if the market does decide to trend. This is very similar to yesterday at the overnight highs. I'm very interested in this at the overnight highs. I'm not quite totally convinced that the long's in yet. I just want to see what happens. If Microsoft gets to 428.80, it'll help my timing on the short. Give me a nice push up to 500, failed 500, rotate back down through these levels, and then just give me that quick move. I'll just take that and lock out and be done for the day. Just looking for that one time. I really think that this here was the trade to take and hold. And unfortunately, I thought I had 3 on, you know, because I normally have 3 on, but I hit my hotkey entry button, forgot that I had set it to 1 so I could shed contracts. So that's just on me for only having smaller size there, but it was still a good move, good position, caught 40 bucks out of it, and I move on. Nvidia is very heavy. Microsoft pushed right up to 428.70 and rejected. Could we break down this level right here, right now? There's a chance, right? This could still break. But overall, I think we're still just kind of holding, waiting, patience, allow NVIDIA to come back up to 119, 120. Microsoft still creeping up, looking for that 429 number. Yesterday, we looked for that big snap to the key number right here, like to 500. If we can get that big snap to 500, I will look to short it. If it does pop and fade, that's really all I look for, is that pop to fade. So pop, I want it up a little bit higher, give me a stronger move there. And then I want to see if NVIDIA will get up a little higher. Microsoft just could breach that level one more time. And I will take this short idea here. So if it does break 500, it should keep going. If not, we're going to take the short down through our level here. I'll take it through the previous day high, saying that it doesn't want to accept. There's a break of 500. If 500 does not hold, I will take it. I'll front run it a little bit. And we'll see what happens with it. Does it snap down or does it continue through 500? All right, we're short. I do think upside has potential. I just see a lot of selling from NVIDIA, a lot of selling in Microsoft. If it can hold that, if it breaks 500 and starts to rally, then we could just get out of it and be flat. So 500 would be really the area of where it shouldn't break again. It's holding this area. I did want to wait till the previous day high got broken, but I will wait on this and let it dance around some. If it gets to 500, then I'll be out. I'm watching Microsoft, I'm watching NVIDIA, both get kind of heavy. I'm watching to see if S&Ps will break down below this overnight high as well. There's that breakdown. Does it hold or does it continue on? All right, I'm going to get over this candle here. And now I'm going to get to even. Get over the previous day high. Shouldn't come back to that. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful setup. Happens like clockwork every single day. We get failures of breakouts initially. Doesn't mean that the price won't go higher. Doesn't mean the price won't go lower. It just means that we take that first little break, use that manipulation to our advantage, and then just move on, right? Just constantly looking to do a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Can I hold this a little longer? I could. I'm just waiting to see if this will breach down below this level a little bit further. If I get stopped at even, it's okay. I think we could get one off maybe down at VWAP. Like I said, I want to see if I can get to VWAP again. That's my rotation, my mean reversion strategy. It's trying to get heavy here. NVIDIA, Microsoft, both trying to get heavier. So it does have heaviness in it. I'm going to get over 80s because 80s is the number that likes to get either, broken and snapped, or it's going to hold. So I'm just over 80 or at 80 right here. If we can break through this low, then we should get a flush quick. If not, we're going to get snapped out. I'm going to get over the body of that, secure myself a nice little $100 day. And there we go. There's the snap to the downside. See if we can get filled on the flush. I don't want to come back to this candle anymore. That's okay. This is a very scalpy move. I don't trust the downside totally, especially with the overhead of 610 target, really. I'm just going to scalp this myself. Order filled. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Market. I'll take that and go for another $100 day here. Solid trade there. I think this is a good area for resistance. We ran into support levels that kind of tell me maybe that NVIDIA wants to bounce. NVIDIA could flush this level and we could keep going lower, but that's a good area for it to bounce, as well as Microsoft could bounce from 427. So that's why I trail a little quick on those. If it decides to go and flush and go all the way to lows, then that's fine. I'm not really too concerned about it, but I really think that that was as much of that move that I could potentially catch, and that's fine with me. I'm just going to look to catch little pieces of bigger moves, and we'll carry on with our lives one trade at a time. I'm going to keep this over here just so you guys have it. Talking about rollover, this was the change in open interest. We're starting to roll, starting to get into that December contract. I would expect early next week potentially for that. I'll short this again if it decides to get up over that 500 and give you a really strong 500 snap, right? Like a break above. I just think that the strength is going to come in. I think that we could get up to 610 without a lot of issue. Fridays like to trend, right? Fridays like to trend. I'd say that kind of pretty much every week. So for me, I was literally just playing that quick pullback. I wasn't looking for full rotation off that high right then and there. S&P's is still relatively strong, holding over the overnight high, still could rotate up. I don't have overhead levels on S&P. I can probably get some though. Alrighty, let's see what the S&P looks like on the 30-minute. I think there is that level right there. Pretty obvious key structure level right there at 5660. And then obviously these wicks up overhead to 5670. So that's the area of interest if S&Ps wants to continue and rally, if NQ is getting closer to that 610 area. So I'm just going to be very, very cautious, very patient on the way these are reacting. I think this will possibly hold again. I would want to see like another manipulation up to 500. At that point, you would expect 500 to not fail again. If 500 does fail again, you'd want to take that same type of trade, right? Because you're getting a snappy liquidity grab, and then you're moving it down to the downside. If it holds below that overnight high, then could still rotate down. I think that Microsoft and NVIDIA are due for a little bit of a bounce from this level where they're at right now. I don't think that they're ready 100% to sell off totally yet. So just be mindful of that. If they do start to snap and sell downside, then this will rotate. However, just be cautious. Let the market tell you what to do. Good morning, Charlie. How are we doing today? We're already up 136.82 on the day. Looking to just take another base hit type day and enjoy our Friday. Look at that break. There's the break, but it doesn't seem. No, Microsoft is cracking 427.15, but it's snapping right back up. NVIDIA as well, right? NVIDIA did a little snap below and then a little pop. Same with Microsoft. You see how they're at that structure level? It's just kind of telling you that we've already pulled back in these names. You're either going to crack this low and rotate down further, or you're going to push up from here and give yourself a little bit of a bounce, trying to get that strength back in. And then you're starting to see this probably have that strength come back in here in this market, right? So I don't know if I trust it to go all the way downside, but it is a good move currently. Still heavy in the S&P, in the NQ relative to the S&P. S&P is still holding over that overnight high. I do not hate trying to catch another short through here, but it does feel like it's going to start to wedge here and then snap and crack out and then probably rally. I do, like I said, I think 610 does come into play probably today, maybe early next week, but I think Fridays like to rally. They like to not rally, but they like to trend. This year, especially this whole past summer, we trended on Fridays. So from the bottom currently, we are still trending to the upside. So any shorts are going to be short-lived, it seems. We might be able to catch these quick snaps like I have, but at the end of the day, I think that this looks to me more like a bullish sentiment. We do have 9 o'clock, that number coming out. So we may get this sideways chop until 9, or we may break out before 9, come up over that 500, 9 o'clock, get you that algo whip retest of this overnight level, and then rotate higher. That's kind of the thought that I see playing out here. Kind of more of that, more of this break up into here, maybe chop around, and then come back into here on the actual news number, and then up to 610. That's the more likely scenario I see right now. Could this come up to 500 and then fail this? I think if it fails it, it does come up to that VWAP. Do I think it breaches and goes further down? I'm not certain. I don't think so. I don't, maybe we retest this opening range high. but I don't think that without much other news that we don't go higher. I think everything, all signs point to up until that rate cut decision actually comes out. So, like I said, I'm very short biased when it comes to fading the overnight highs, previous day highs. I took a long and a short already today. So I took a short here and I took a long there. I got, unfortunately, on this one, I thought I took a three contracts. I took one and then I went to shed one and I took the whole position off. In theory, that position would have been trailed out here to two, and then we would have been able to secure pretty much all three, making ourselves, 40, 120, this would have been our $200 move right here, probably would have locked out. And then fading that high, I would have probably maybe gave it one shot and then locked out after this move here. So we realistically could have been done there, 846, if the correct position size was slapped on. I put three on, got stopped quick. Could have let that thing dance around a little bit more, but it was very whippy. I didn't really trust it quite then and there. I had some room to the downside in Microsoft and stuff like that, so I just kind of waited. Wait for this 9 o'clock number to come out if you haven't already entered a position. Just note that this is forming here. This is what you're seeing here, this little bit of a wedge pattern. So I would anticipate that to hold on or maybe manipulate prior to that number coming out. It is Michigan's consumer sentiment preliminary number. 67.9 was the previous. They're expecting a slight downtick. Consensus is 68, which is an uptick. So let's see what happens with that actual number. It doesn't really matter what that number is. I think the Fed's all but decided on what their rate decision is going to be. So just react. Understand that that's what's just an algo and drive. Maybe lower liquidity Friday into a rollover, into a Fed decision, quiet period, no more data after this real number. So that could really ignite either direction or not, right? Microsoft's holding down below that 427.15, trying to hold 427 even. NVIDIA's right dead center between two levels for me, 118.69, 119.45. This seems to be a bullish idea just based on everything that I've been seeing as far as data is concerned, as far as people are positioning for. So you do have heaviness in the NVIDIA, heaviness in Microsoft. Four minutes. I think NVIDIA and Microsoft both pulled back some for the time being. I don't know if that's going to hold after the number or not, but we're going to kind of note that sell side pressure came in originally. It was very manipulative looking in the NVIDIA chart. And Microsoft, it was a lot cleaner of a move. But now you're starting to see a buyer step in at 426.33. So this consumer sentiment, I mean, I don't think it'll move us crazy. I do think it'll snap us out of whatever this wedge is here, and then eventually we'll start to continue whatever trend we're developing. I just think it's kind of foolish to be in a position prior to it, unless you are holding, say this short here and you're at even, then maybe you can secure if the news is perceived as negative and you get a snap to the downside. You can start to secure your position as it moves to the downside. If you are playing along, I would just be cautious because you haven't been in the money really yet, unless you have been buying up this 460 number. And if that's the case, then you can set your stop to even, right? Depending on which end of this wedge you're entered in, maybe you can be at even into the news and then see where it goes, or just set your risk to whatever it is and allow yourself to have some move. I would expect whip move, and then a follow through in whatever direction it goes. Probably 2 or 3 manipulations. But we can play that break of the overnight high into from 490, up into 500, 520, if that's going to be what happens here on that news. Microsoft crept back up. NVIDIA holding support at 118.69. Don't do dumb shit. Absolutely. I'm not trying anything. I'm just saying what people can do. I'm sitting here on my hands. It's 136 up on the day. Couple good trades. Probably should be up more because I took a single contract here when I thought I had 3 on. Yeah, this was my entry here. I did stupid stop myself out on that. Not really stupidly. It was just the way it danced around. I didn't allow it to go as much as I would have liked. I could have easily risked down to that 380 with these micros and been safe, right? I thought that it could pull back to 380 and then rally. My bias, I'm trying not to let my bias kind of step in, but that really helped this trade idea here. Really that trade was the trade of the day. Trade it, allow it to be aggressive. If I was going to be aggressive on the buy, allow it to dance a little bit and see if it would hold this opening range low. Once you break through this opening range high, just take one here, one at the previous day high, and then have one runner on for if this does continue and start to rally the rest of the day. That was the idea for it. I ended up taking my couple dollars, $10 there, $40 here. Oh, the market is now closed. There's that rally.
The markets are open.
See that manipulation there? I said you could take this probably from 490 to 520. I think there's going to be 3 manipulations. Up, down, and then probably up again. Doesn't matter what this number is, although I'll look at it. It's 69, so consumer confidence up much higher than they thought. So that's a really good bounce, but you're not going to get good fills right now. It's very, very whippy. Don't just start hammering into things. Wait, be patient. This is a trap, right? This is algos doing their thing. There's no reason to get yourself caught off. Yeah, there's no reason to get caught off, offsides on a news number like that. It looks cool, right? It looks like, oh man, I could have definitely caught that. But realistically, in between these levels, there weren't tons of fills. There was probably a fill every, 2, 3, 4, 5 points here and there. So people would get in and be like, oh man, I got slipped and I didn't get good fills. It's because the orders actually never executed at those levels. And especially in the sim environment, they're only filling on those. Yeah. It's going to take all your lunch money. It's going to take your buddy's lunch money. It's going to rob your mom and your dad. I think now that you've got it to settle down some, you can see the spreads kind of thinned out a little bit. I think we still are a bit jumpy. Right to that overnight low was a clear buy signal again. So if it does breach through this high again, that consumer sentiment came out strong. So really good news is bad news here? I don't think so. I think we still rally up towards that 610 area. I would like to go long through that overnight high if it did get back up there, because this does feel like manipulation high. Snap out all those people to the short side. Now you have shorts trapped, right? You've held the overnight low. Now you're trying to rotate back above and into that overnight high. See what happens with NVIDIA and Microsoft. See if they start to creep back up a little bit. That was a nice little lesson learned, I'm sure, for some people who did take that and decided to get stop. Because realistically, if you got triggered into this, you never had an even chance. Unless you're using hotkeys and you just snap to even right away, you probably even still get slipped on your break even. Unless you set an order here, at 91 and an order here at, 20s, you got to fill it on 20s, 510, if you're looking for that kind of move there. But most people aren't doing that, right? You're not taking that kind of move. If Microsoft gets back above 427, then you start to see this hold and this gets strength. I think that the trend continues to the upside. I think this just is what it is, right? NVIDIA snap down, looking to get back up over 118.69s. 69s. That would have been a nice mean reversion strategy right there, or our failed breakout, right? If I would have had timing, it's not something I'm just messing around. It's not something I would do. But to snap above here and then take that failed break, right? Break of 500, rotate back down all the way to the overnight lows, really quick, easy money. Very spready, very wide, very gapped. I think you're starting to get strength in NVIDIA. Let's see if Microsoft can get above 427.15. I think if you snap this overnight high, you rotate to 610. That's just my thought on the day. It's a super tight overnight range. Still, again, like yesterday. I think you still get some muted behaviors until that Fed decision. S&P is now trying to fail that overnight high. If it holds the overnight highs, then watch for it to continue to rally. I'm going to start to look for I'm going to try a buy through that overnight high. Actually, 510s. Microsoft's relatively weak. NVIDIA's relatively strong. That's where you're getting this chop, this sideways action. If Microsoft can catch a bid, then this whole thing goes to the high side. I'm willing to take this chance here on one shot.
Order filled.
There's your push up. I need to see if 500 will break or not. Microsoft selling again. Seems like 70 is probably that line in the sand. Does it hold 70? Microsoft selling. NVIDIA bidding up. I think if Microsoft can hold and start to catch a little bit of a bid, like I said, I think this can continue to the high side. It's just my thought on it. If it does want to just manipulate down again, then it is what it is. Trying to let this idea play out some. If it gets back up over that level, then you could probably get to even pretty quick. It should snap up at that time. NVIDIA still really strong, pushing up. Microsoft still just relatively chilling. If we can get Microsoft to catch a bid, then we should be off to the races. Get Microsoft to start buying, baby. There's Microsoft starting a little bit of a bid, a little tiny bit. If we can get up over our overnight high here, we should be able to snap up pretty quickly. And we got to see if 500 will break. If we get back up to this level here, I will go to even. Not looking to give back much more than that, just based on the momentum of the price. There it is. I'm going to go to even because if it doesn't hold that level now, then it's going to snap down super hard. There we go. There's that break, that momentum. Push to the high side. Let's see if it'll hold. 500 failed there for a quick, brief second. However, NVIDIA is very strong. Microsoft caught a bid. Let's see if we can get this one off at 510. If we can get that one off at 510, that'd be nice. I usually like to get it off at 510s, 20s. But we're going to stop out here maybe, potentially. No, Microsoft, NVIDIA is still very strong. not breaking through. I want to see it get up to 120 again, so that should help us to the high side. But it's dancing around this 500. It could fail 500 really hard, really fast. So that's why I'm secured at least a little bit.
Order
Yeah, there we go. I'm flat. It could still go, but I'm not a breakout trader, so that's very difficult for me to hold. I probably could have took one off at 500 or just as the breach of this high here at 503. I wanted to see 510s get touched. I probably will see that happen. I just have a really hard time holding breakouts because my strategy is based on failed breakouts. But I did think that this was going to come in. There's that 510. So there was my exit. Just one candle too soon on the trail, which is all good. I took 25 bucks off on that one, so cool. If we fail it, then maybe we get another rotation down through here. But I think we do have now that bullish behavior continuing on. I was just kind of talking through why I think everything would go the way it did. So far, we've done a really good job of taking very good trades. The win percentage here today is another 100% winning trade day. Our winning percentage has crept up back into that 70-something%. So we are still doing a good job of holding and maintaining wins. Another 160. I think we still have another opportunity available potentially if it does pull back some. I'm going to hold off just for a time being. This consolidation, any sort of break above here, like I said, should kind of push us up. I think another 100 points upside is not a crazy ask. I think now that you've manipulated, I said there's going to be 3 manipulations. It's going to manipulate up, it's going to manipulate down, and then it's going to pop back up. Potentially, if it does fail, we could get back to VWAP. So I would like to see if that does come into play. NVIDIA never got to 120. It's holding that 119.50 currently. Need more coffee. I do think we have one more opportunity if we do flush this low, but I'm not gonna run in front of 500. I'm not gonna try and get in anywhere near 500 because I think it's manipulative. I think this still continues upside, right? What's up, Jofi? How we doing today? Hopefully everything's going well for you this week. We've had a pretty good week. Secured ourselves basically a straight green week. About $1,000 a week, give or take. Give them a little bit more. Let's see if we can get this to pull back some. If NVIDIA fails that, maybe we do have an opportunity here for one more quick short. I'm going to take it. If it goes, it goes. I did have a little bit of a long bias, but I see NVIDIA selling off and Microsoft selling as well. I would like to get back to VWAP. If it gets back over 500, we're probably going to have to get out of this. That was a kind of trappy move there. Could have recognized that, but it's all right. See if this gets through the previous day high at all. S&P's is showing strength. Microsoft found support at 427, but NVIDIA is still a little heavy. So I'm just working this off NVIDIA currently. If I get over 5, I'll probably get out. Getting heavy. That's a very aggressive seller right there. So hopefully that does push into a break of this low here, but it doesn't feel like it. So I would like to get out over 500. Maybe over here. Yeah. Over 500 would be probably the best idea there. I'd say if it breaks 500, it's going.
Order filled.
Yeah, I'm not going to get in front of that. Kind of figured that was going to happen the way that snapped down so hard. I should have just left that alone, but it's all right. Got to take the chance at it. Now the rally is possibly on with NVIDIA finding support at VWAP at 119 even, and Microsoft found that support right at 427. You see that right there. 427.15 found support, rallied off of it. NVIDIA is relatively weak though. Should we fail 500 again, I think we could snap that down, but I don't think it's going to come into play. I think that this is probably the time it goes. You can see how strong the S&Ps are, catching a nice strong bid there to the top end of that news candle, I guess you'd call it. And Microsoft is strong now, pushed up over that news candle as well. Oh, hell yeah, there's a heaviness. I'll take one off if I get it. I'm going to even. I don't want to get snapped in and out of that. There we go. That's why I have my order in place, just in case it does happen. I'll take one off at 70. That's really where I want it to get to. There's 70s filled. We have... I saw 70s being a reactive level before. Let's see if it'll hold this overnight previous day high now or not. That kind of could have been a manipulation. And Microsoft right down to 427. NVIDIA also down to 118.
Order filled.
All right, back over $100 on the day. Caught a really nice move there. Could still go down, but you know, the way it was getting heavy so quickly, it should have flushed even further, kind of like yesterday. So another good win. We made back basically that loss, a little bit less, you know, half of that loss. I would like to get a buy from the overnight lows. That'd be nice. Can we get all the way down to this overnight low level? This is the range we stayed in all overnight. Does it decide that it wants to stay in this range again? I think there's a chance that we can do that. Maybe clean up this algo number here. Maybe this was that third manipulation. Maybe we could get down into that overnight low, but I don't think so. I think that this strength still comes back potentially with Microsoft holding that support. NVIDIA's just been dancing around the middle of a range. So if NVIDIA does want to creep back up, this is going to go back to the high side. I think that rotates through. Very trappy right now. If you have made money today, be cautious. If you've lost money, be cautious. I think, like I said, with rollover, you're going to get some awkward price action. You're going to get some snappy moves. We did get entered into that, took our short there. Probably would have liked that to happen here at the previous entry, so we didn't stop ourselves at over 500. But I think you start getting yourself over 500. That's that key level. It's a nice support level. Now you're starting to get bids from NVIDIA and Microsoft, so this could rally on up with the S&Ps showing that relative strength, right? I said that break back above 90 probably rotates you back here. Does it break you out? That's going to be the question of the day. Does it break this key structure level there? There. If 500 keeps failing, then I think that you're probably better off on the short side. But 500, it's very interesting. This does look like it wants to break above this 502 and then rally up into 915. But if it doesn't, then we should rotate again. This is whippy. It's on a higher volume candle. I don't trust this to give you follow through to the downside. It could come in snappy right at that overnight high. Do something similar to this where it grabs some liquidity and rotates back up. So maybe that's the play where you wait for it to snap down, fail to break, fail to accept again into the previous day's high. You can see 2 times these candles held into that overnight high. My S&P is still holding strength. And then I said I have up to 56.60 for that high side. If you do snap this candle to the high side, I would expect a squeeze. I don't know how high it's going to go. But like I said, I think that 610 could be a good idea. It just depends on some of these other names like Microsoft, NVIDIA, Apple really has been disconnected, but Apple's been kind of just flat. Amazon, Google, Tesla, Microsoft. It's been a mixed bag across the Mag 7. So I think once anything really starts to catch some strength, you will start to see some push. NVIDIA is sitting right on VWAP. Microsoft's just like playing with that 428 level, but just not breaking through it. I wouldn't be surprised if this does pull another rotation down, but just be cautious. Does it follow through or not? It really needs to accept into this previous day high with S&Ps showing relative strength. I wouldn't be totally convinced on a follow through, but I would like it personally to have to try and take it. I just feel like this is just bullish. I think this is a break of this. Then you have a hold here. I think you watch that level. See if that'll hold. I think it's going to grind. I think, there's a chance that this sells off, but I don't think that that's a true sell. It could be just a trap there. Like I said before, just to snap into the overnight high, grab that liquidity and go. If not, if it does snap it down and break again, I will look to go short on the secondary breakdown because I think that feels heavy, but not heavy enough where it's going to hold it. See that snap down? It would have grabbed some liquidity on. See where this closes because NVIDIA found support again, 118.69. Microsoft found support at 427.50. This could rotate now again. One more wick. I did not trust this to be a failed breakout. I feel like this is bullish in this kind of behavior, and it's kind of just showing its hand right here, right now. It is a Friday. If this breaks down, then I will take it this time. Will S&Ps still lead us through that or not? Microsoft's approaching 428 again. See if Microsoft could break through 428. See if NVIDIA could crack and hold above that VWAP. Looks like it's been grabbing liquidity down below at 118. If it can break through 118, then downside pressure does come in. Like I said, I have an upside bias for the remainder of the day, being that we left that opening range at the low. We swept overnight lows. We've swept overnight highs. We've trapped some people into thinking that it's going to come in, and now I'm going to see if I get short through this level. If it's going to go quickly, I would like to get that quick one off and then take the rest of it and hold it. But it feels strong. I would need Microsoft to crack through the low. It'd be nice to see Microsoft break down from here, and then that would really kind of snap this to downside because NVIDIA's been relatively weak. If it goes now, then I will be in. If not, I'm going to be probably flattened for the rest of the day. Finding that support here. Support. If it cracks through that 15, watch for a nice snappy crack to the upside. Microsoft hunting for 428 right now. A really strong push right into the 428. If it breaks 428, I think high of day comes in, which is 428.80, 428.76. And that will drive this to the high side. If it rejects 428 again, then maybe we do get our rotation the other direction. Maybe it is a rotational Friday. NVIDIA is super sideways. Look at NVIDIA. It's stuck between this range here. Tries to get heavy, tries to get strong. Now it's just literally right in the middle. I think it's waiting to see what happens with Microsoft. Does Microsoft sell off from 428 or does it continue to rally? We are running right into that that news candle manipulation level. This is that level there. I don't hate the idea of it. I think it does break and continue on. We're green on the day. Can't be mad at it. I kind of expected today to be a little bit more of a muted price day for me. I should be up a little bit more on this trade here. I've totally missized it. Made a mistake. Didn't do dumb shit. It just, what I did was on the first entry that I ended up getting stopped at even for, I went into 3, then I set my hotkeys for 1 so I could shed out as I got closer to VWAP and other places. Then I bought in with the hotkey instead of buying in with my stop over here, and then just took out 1 contract at VWAP, which is fine. It's part of the strategy, so I'm not really too concerned. It was just sized smaller. Could have been up probably another $100, but we are okay. I will be happy with a close to $1,000, more than $1,000 week, $2,000 week almost. Microsoft did not break 428 yet. It rejected it and failed. S&P is showing strength through that level. NVIDIA NQ hasn't quite gave you that strength that you would expect. You want to see this start to catch up. There you go. Now you're starting to see a little bit of a pop. Does it pop and fail now? Looks like it. Microsoft broke 428 and now is short. This didn't break out very strong at all. You would expect a break at that level to be kind of strong, right? I think this is tight. There goes Microsoft. Finally broke 428 and held. So now we should see this bullish behavior continue on. If we start to see a rejection of Microsoft at 428.80 and start to rotate back down, then that's going to be concerned. We watch 428 for the break again. Let's see if that will break. I don't know if I trust that short there. I'll take a chance at it. I'm going to take a chance at that level. Not being a strong break.
Order filled.
Microsoft failed 428 again. That's why I took this. Get through 500. All right, I'm at even now that it's at 500. If it's going to snap 500, it should snap down or bounce. There it is. I'm going to get above 500 and see where it goes from here. Take one off at our overnight highs if it does get there. If not, I'm going to stop. There we go. Really nice, hard snap to the downside. I didn't trust it at first, but now I do. I trust the short. Got to take the trades that are presented to you, right? I'm going to give you another one out, maybe, potentially. If we don't hold this, we'll go both out. Oh, man, $3 shy of a winning day. Boo. I'll take that every day of the week, baby. Let's go. Come on. Got to be aggressive. Got to take your chances. I wanted to take one off there and let the last one ride, but I just took the whole thing off because I don't trust the movements today. Today is very whippy, very dancing. I mean, Microsoft sold off super hard through that level. This is the convincing telltale sign there. You push up into that key level. As soon as you snap through here, this is clear as day, going to snap down as well. And then you got NVIDIA running right into that resistance, which is also why I took that and trailed it to that previous day high, because I do think that we could probably still continue on and be rotational through here. But I'm not going to try and fight for $3. I mean, we'll see what happens with some of this price action. Look for a long at the overnight low, right, if it's going to stay rotational. But that was a very good trade there. Once again, it structures into our levels, right? Hopefully somebody saw that, caught it, thought about taking it with me. Really, that's all I'm trying to do on a day-to-day basis is provide that value right there. Another good, solid green winning day for us here today. I am going to shrink down to single contract, and I will maybe take one long through here just to play. NVIDIA's on support. Microsoft's pushing down. NVIDIA just cracked through that support, so it should be heavy again. There you go. You can see the confluence. You can see the front running happening. If you're watching Microsoft and NVIDIA, they have been leading us so far this week. I've been using them to my advantage. I've been doing a really good job of eyeing the levels on Microsoft, on NVIDIA, watching them lead us. Once they start acting in unison, that's when you start to get these real true moves, right? These short side moves here, this selling move. You get all this chop when they're kind of diverging, and then once they start to line up together and they want to snap, like NVIDIA was showing relative weakness, like I showed you, and Microsoft cracked through 428 and just didn't have any follow through. Once it bailed back down through 428, NVIDIA was willing to sell off as well. So that's what the thought process is there. It is still heavy. We are going to go back rotational and see if it does test this overnight low again. It's 9:30. We have been open for an hour. We do have some very heavy behavior there. Could have caught more of this if I would have managed this with that the idea that I was going to take one off at VWAP and then let the rest ride. But I was not trusting the rotations that we were getting. But here we go. Very heavy, short. I mean, we took the long from here, got stopped a little bit, took the short from here and here. Overall, really great trading so far this week. You can see we took an 88% win trade. So we only took one losing trade here today. And it says 8. I didn't take that many trades. Or 9. It says 9, but it's really when I shed off one contract, it calls it a trade. So very good. The strategy works well on days like today. Unfortunately, I just didn't allow that last runner to run. I wanted to take that one off at VWAP, but I got wicked out at the previous day high, which is fine, right? Like I'm trailing according to my personal rules that will, if it does see follow through, usually it'll see it quick. We're holding that opening range high. I want to see if S&P is going to continue us to the downside. NVIDIA found a bid there. I am going to trade one contract if I could find some setup. See if I can get myself up over that payout threshold. Even though it's not really necessary, I'm not quite at the threshold of payout where I want to be anyway. But I'm very happy with the way that we've been looking at these setups. Done for the day, Scott. Go enjoy your weekend. Lock it out. Have a positive last couple days. I think you did really well the last few days, according to your messages here lurking in the backgrounds. I'm pretty happy with the way we've been able to eyeball this market, see when things are going to be better timed. I just didn't. This one here, I took what I thought was 3. I took 1, so that was one little mistake. But it's also fine. I'd rather make a mistake on the smaller side. When you're right, you never have enough on. When you're wrong, you never have enough off, right? You're never small enough, right? So it's fun to kind of note that. Don't feel that greed factor. Like, could I use $3 more? Absolutely. Could I have made it in here? Absolutely. But does it matter? Not necessarily. No. The $3 threshold to the $200 payout. Like I said, I will find another $200 day. There is a good chance of it. I'm not looking to hunt this in the middle of a range or anything like that. If I could have bought that bottom tick, I would have been very happy as well. But I was not looking to get in front of that heaviness. And like I said, I do not think that we're necessarily out of the woods for the upside. I think that there is still an upside grind to be had, right? We've still, low of the day is the bottom of this blue zone. We've held that overnight low again. Yes, we're below VWAP. S&Ps are over their overnight high, so still relatively strong. Does it mean that we're not going to flush down lower? No. I did say that 380 does seem like a really good area for support as well. So 380, 400 does make a good area for price to want to hunt down to, kind of sweep down into lows and then be maybe a sideways Friday. Most Fridays have been trending, but I mean, we found that trend here, found that trend to the upside. It's just a muted trend, right? I think there's more factors in play this week going into next with the rate decision. You have all your data out. Now there's not a lot of like questions of what the data is going to be. The data's out there. Still indecision based on whether they're going to price in 50 basis points or 25 basis points on the cut. I think most of the time, I think you may get some capitulation, jubilation beforehand and then sell that news. But I feel like we've already been selling that news. So it's very interesting to see kind of where we're at in relation to where I thought we would be come that rate cut. Anything over that 760, in that 610 to 760 range is going to be interesting for me to see if we do want to sell from there or not, or if we're going to hold above it. So that's why I say I think today possibly brings us into that 610 area. I wouldn't, I still don't rule it out. There's lots of trading day left. And I think that may be where people want to get to. And this is a good sweep to the downside to gather more longs, especially just coming right to the tick of that overnight low. We've stayed in that range, bang, 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 quite a bit. So we took, I didn't take anything here, but that was a good idea on where it was going to end up based on the manipulation from that algo. On the news candle, I noted the news candle high, news candle low is overnight low, so we didn't really need to note it. It's already a key structure level. You saw that failed break. I said this isn't breaking out the way it should over this key level. There should be more to it, especially the way the S&Ps was leading. You started to see the S&P creep down. You saw Microsoft break 428, fail 428. You saw NVIDIA break down, start to sell off from VWAP. So a lot of confluence added to this short idea right there. Yes, I could still be in, probably would have trailed out that last piece there. But overall, I think that was a really well-managed position as far as taking the first one off at the overnight high. And I just trailed out to the previous day high. I mean, it's really that simple. Could have waited for that next candle to close, but you got all the way down to VWAP to recover back to previous day high. Doesn't seem like something that I want to happen, right? I want to see this to do this quicker and then maybe hold below it and then rotate down if it was going to continue. So that's why I had my stop where I did. And I just let it do its thing. We secured $90-something on that trade there. So, with micros taking $100 here, $100 there, $200 here, it adds up. And seeing our setup happen time and time and time again and allowing it to work at other key structure levels, not just our overnight levels. I'm starting to be I'm able to be a little more aggressive with smaller size at these key levels, which is allowing me to profit a little bit better. As I mentioned, I do think that we're not out of the woods yet for the long side. Not necessarily trusting full follow through, but I think there should be still a slow grind up. 197.94. That's just probably fees that got me below 200. So realistically, yeah. And then that one loss that I took. I'll take this every single day of the year, though. That'll be nice. You can guarantee me that money every day. If you're over on YouTube, hit the like. If you're on Twitch, I don't know how you do anything over there, but do what it is you do. Give us a thumbs up or whatever. I posted the Tradecaster link. Please join up on Tradecaster. It's free. 7-day trial. If you want to extend your membership after the fact, you could always use my code Policing Pips. I'm free anyway. Once that 7-day free trial expires, you still can have access to me and my stream. I am across those multiple platforms trying to spread the good word about Tradecaster, try to spread the good word about kind of what we do here, psychology wise, just trade execution wise, keeping it simple, don't do dumb shit, and allowing yourself to take your wins and enjoy your weekends. We did have a really good week this week. Just build out of buffer with that micro setup. Since we switched to micros, been nice and solid and green the whole month since then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 winning days now. I'm going to type my notes in, add my journal. Stuck with micros. Setups worked out well. X mistake on smaller side. All right. Saved my journal for the day. Just added some notes to what I saw I did. Potentially could do better or whatnot. Overall, like I said, I think I did everything that I wanted to do today. The only thing that I did make a mistake on was sizing for this entry here. Would have liked to have had it at 3 contracts instead of the 1 that I had, but that was just a mistake on my end. It's overall just, it's fine. I think if we break and hold here, we should rally up through 500. I'm not going to take any trades here. I do like that, though. I think this full recovery here probably leads to a clean push to the upside. $9.41. I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Alrighty, all right, I'm back. Boy, do I love trading. Isn't it fun? It's fun. It's frustrating. It's all the above. I need you guys to just focus on your processes and you'll be fine. It's only fun when you win. Absolutely. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. I'm trying, even winning 197 seems frustrating to me for some reason. I have sized down quite a bit, and it's been paying off. I've been a lot more patient, allowing some of these to move a little bit better. I still trail a little bit as if I have that mini on. So like even this one here, I could have managed slightly better, but I didn't trust this to break down totally. No, I did not. That's the thing. I mean, this would be my fifth day. I'm not at the point where I want to take a withdrawal anyway. It's just nice to have that last day to kind of get over that psychology of I need 5 days, right? I mean, I don't really necessarily care to hit any sort of arbitrary profit target. I just want to let good trades happen and execute them. So when I've actually gotten to this point, as far as my mentality is concerned, that's when I've taken more payouts. When I didn't care about that $200 rule, the payouts came, right? So if I were to come here right now and decide to if I were to like try to hit that 200, then I would just pull money out of my account, and then instead of being 197, it'll be 100, and then I'll be annoyed at myself even more. So just sticking to my strategy. Let things play out the way they do. Whatever the number is at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, I'm not too concerned about it. I did mention that this full recovery probably would happen. I'm really feeling like I'm in tune with the way the market's reacting. It's just a matter of executing time and time again. I mean, really don't want to step in front of this. You know, this bottom tick did make a lot of sense for it to hold. You started to see that if you use the S&P levels, if you use NVIDIA, if you use Microsoft, there were some confluences to tell you that this was probably going to stop down here. I'm not looking to jump in front of a falling knife here, just in case we decided to have a Friday sell-off that wanted to happen. But I think that, as I mentioned, the rally to the upside made more sense for the day. We did hold this opening range still held the overnight low. Now that we've come back and breached back above this, news algo, we've kind of cleaned up this entire news algo candle. That's really what all that was true market participants kind of cleaning up some of these shitty orders that happened in that area, right? You cleaned it up to the high side, cleaned it up to the downside, and now you're back to where you kind of belong in the markets. So could it go up or down from here? Yes, it could. Either way, it could go both. I still have a long bias just based on that rate cut coming next week. I do think also with rollover, positioning matters for some of these bigger traders. So they're rolling out of some of these positions. They want to roll out at highs and somehow find some arbitrage rolling into that next contract, that NQZ December contract, right? We did show this yesterday. We'll show it again today. We're losing more interest. This was at 682, so I think we lost really more like 100,000 in volume yesterday. At close, the open interest is 228. We've lost 6,300, and you can see of that 6,300, it probably all rolled into December and then some, right? So yes, 34,000 doesn't seem big, but once you start to see these numbers get really close to each other, then you're going to see all of the volume flip into December, and then once September expires, it's it. It is what it is. So just make sure. I did hit that pullback there, Zook. I pulled it in, but I didn't catch the full move. I caught from the top here down to pretty much, I trailed out just over previous day highs, got wicked out, and then it continued down for that next little leg. So I just didn't trust it based on some of the It's all right. You saw it coming. It's something that's good to note, right? Even though you have to leave, even though you maybe you don't execute on it. Like yesterday, you said you saw it from the sidelines. Same type of trade, same kind of setup, same idea in this market environment is more apt to work, right? So it's going to be that kind of idea that comes into play, but it's good for you to note it, say, okay, I see it coming. Maybe I didn't catch it, but I'm starting to register it. Maybe write it down if you need to do something to remember kind of what it is, or chart it out, or whatever it is that you need to do to kind of help yourself understand that that's some sort of play that you need to start to look for, because it comes quick, it comes hard, and with the confluences, it's really very helpful to be able to kind of execute this move, right? I'm not looking to short this again. I think maybe if it does pull back, it's not going to pull back as deep. I still think 610 comes into play at some point soon. If we get to 610, I would short, but I don't think that's going to come in right now. It is 9:48. Could it come in and short again? It could, absolutely. Will it? I mean, Microsoft's already pulled back off highs. NVIDIA's more of a basing pattern up towards that 119.38. It hasn't pulled back as hard. So I feel like this is more of a pullback. Even if it pulls back into 500, I still don't trust the 500 to totally snap and break on this go around. I think this is more going to be support now to kind of just continue us to slow grind our way up. And usually on Fridays, that's what kind of happens. It gets into that mode where people just start buying it, and it grinds. We did note that it does turn around right at that euro close. Sometimes it reverses completely. Sometimes it just gives you a reprieve and rotates out. So watch out for that 10:30 close for some reaction. All right, I'm going to lock out, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm locking out because I'm creeping into my mind. It's creeping in there. I want $3. I keep looking at the number up top, and I say, I want $3. I need $3. It's kind of just like an OCD, Top Step. All of these companies do a really good job of getting in your head psychologically for arbitrary numbers that don't mean anything. I'm already funded. I'm already in profit. I'm pulled out of a drawdown. Since last Wednesday, I'm up over $2,000. I'm not going to risk it to where I'm going to draw down my win for the day just because I want to make $3. But once I start seeing that thought creep into my head, it's the don't do dumb shit mentality, right? Don't do dumb shit. Don't look for $3. Look for a good trade setup. If the trade setup comes, execute it. If not, don't execute. That's really what it comes down to. Practice good discipline. On a Friday, I don't want to give anything back that I just made, right? I've seen that happen to me time and time again. It happens to me on combines because I get really greedy in combines. And I get to like within, $500, and then I just let a trade ride that doesn't need to ride and burn that account, right? It's not really an easy task when it comes down to it. If you think about it, you need to make $3,000 before you lose $2,000, and you're oversizing for a $2,000 drawdown. So the trap you fall into is trying to oversize into positions that don't necessarily need it, and then you kind of fall into that I need it. So what I've kind of done is I've sized down on my XFAs, and I'm really wholeheartedly focused on one and one only. These two will reset at some point, or one of these will reset. The other one just doesn't go away. I don't know why. This does make sense. This pullback, like I said, down into 500. I didn't think it was going to snap and hold through 500. I think that maybe holds this level and then rotates back again. But if it does continue down, then that was a good trade idea. I think you got a more of a, if it breaks again to the high side, we'll keep going. I just have a long bias for the day. That's just my thought. I don't think it stays. I don't think there's anything telling us that it wants to go down further. Fundamentally. Yeah, kind of just talking through psychology and stuff like that. Lock yourself out. Enjoy the rest of your day. My strategy for this go around with this funded account until it decides to not be here anymore. I am going to try and grow it slowly, steadily, as consistently as possible. I want to be able to pull money out of it, but also stay with a decent sized buffer, right? What I would like to do is to get up over 2,000 by the end of next week. And then whatever I make over that buffer, I will take out come the end of the month, and then just start over again October, November, December and just really just make it so it's consistent, steady. I want to build this. So, like I said, if I don't get to another $200 a day for another week or two, it doesn't matter to me. As long as my account is going up and to the right, when I get that fifth day, the fifth day will come and I'll take my payout when that time comes that I predetermine myself, not according to their idea here, right? And if I can get 30 straight winning days, then I can be pulling out as much as I want whenever I want. And then there's probably a good chance you get moved to live if you're up, say $200 a day times 30 days, $6,000. If I can move live with 6,000 and then start another XFA, 6 to 10K, I could safely trade that probably. I'm going to request, after this payout, I should be over that mark where I can request my 5K payout hat. I don't have any conviction on the day. It really does feel like it wants to stay rotational. However, like I said, I do think that there is just more of an upside bias for the rest of the week and into that rate decision on Wednesday next week. With the Fed quiet period, you're not going to get any jawboning, so you're not going to get any snap decisions unless something crazy newsworthy comes into play. I think you got more of a indecision, but when it comes to neutral indecision, I think the markets are more rigged to go up than they are to go down. Some structure-based stuff is going to go down, and then you're going to get some snap moves because of rollover. So some snap moves because of rollover will make some sense. Let's see, is Riggs in the lobby right now? We are going to be doing potentially a co-stream with my man Riggs. He is over there on the in the Tradecaster lobby. Let's go see what he's doing. See how he's doing. Watch for the bullish. Like I said, when it's slow and sideways, watch for that bullish grind to the upside. S&P's has been relatively strong compared to the NQ today. Microsoft bounced right off 428. Clean move off 428. Nvidia's cracking high side. I would see maybe some more momentum pushing up. We probably will be doing a co-stream next week sometime, me and Riggs. So look out for that. Should be pretty cool. You can learn from a couple good guys. I think the Rigman.
baby. Dallas pulling back. ES is as well.
Two minutes till 10 a.m. here, Central Time. Nvidia is running its head up against 119.39, and Microsoft holding around 428 could catch a bounce there. Could catch a bounce. $10 a.m. here now, Central Time. I think I'm all but done for the day. I locked out. You're getting a lot of sideways chop. There is a good chance that we do stay rotational. However, with some of these names, Microsoft, Nvidia, looking a little bit bullish, but doesn't mean that it can't snap to the downside. I do have a bullish, like I said, I love my shorts. I'm a short bias trader, most likely, more than likely. S&Ps snapping up. NQ looking like it's holding that 515. Microsoft pushed up over 428, right to 429, and is rejecting a little bit. Could fail this level, could give you that short. $102.50. Just checking in on my man Riggs. It is a good area for a buy. If you can get down there, hell yeah.
Okay, London has now closed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still holding this. I'm still in only one micro, but I'm gonna let this ride, see where I can add. Once it gets under, say, 472, 76, let's do 75 that are below.
Yeah, 10:02 here Central Time. I think, if you have made money, I think that's pretty much it for the day for me. There's plenty of time for the day left. If you stick
Grab some breakfast.
if you stick
Do
on.
you guys have any question before I end the stream? Money in one micro, so really less than, I'm only down less than 200, which I can close that out at any given time, take the $200, realize, and call a day. Still up on the day. 9:54. So yeah. So I will see you guys on Monday. If anything, trade safe for the remaining of the day. Take it easy. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, I'm pretty much all but done for the day as well. Just check that Caesar stream there. Just be cautious. Wait for that NVIDIA. See what happens with NVIDIA. See what happens with Microsoft. Do they start to rally? Do they hold these levels, or do they rotate back the other direction? There's a good chance that we stay rotational. This is very sideways. You had lots of chop all overnight. We are still technically green on the day as far as the Nasdaq is concerned. S&P is a much more green for the day, I'd say, as far as their distance from previous day highs, overnight highs, holding above all of that, right? So until Monday, I think I'm going to hop off here, enjoy a little bit of time before I get to work. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you could always message me on Instagram at Policing Pips, at Day Trading Coffee Co. Head over to that Day Trading Coffee Co. website, and you could send me messages on the little comment box. So don't be afraid to do that. As I said, we're green again today. Another great execution day, just nice and simple, keeping it clean. Ever since we've scaled down, scaled back a bit, we've made it just a nice, clean base hit here, there, and we're starting to stack up a little bit better. Getting that profit curve back up and to the right, continuously making new equity highs. We are still having a solid win percentage here. The average win is skewed because of shedding out micros. So technically, this doesn't really reflect the average win to average loss, because our average loser is probably smaller than that, and then our average win is a little bit bigger because it's counting like those smaller take profits in between as not quite one position, right? So overall, like I said, very solid week. I want to build off this week, continue with a good month, a much cleaner profit targets, all that stuff. So overall, if you do have friends, family, anybody that you want to get in and have them start trading, bring them over to the lobby, bring them over to the room. We'll start making lots of more good calls every single day. Like I said, it's just Friday. Go out. If you've made money, lock out. If you lost money, lock out. Go enjoy your day. Don't overdo it. It's Friday. We're going to get rollover. You're going to get the rate decision come next Wednesday on the 18th. So just be mindful of those things, okay? Until then, I'll talk to you guys later.